Welcome back everyone. The iPad mini 6 for some reason is making a ton of waves, which I really don't know why. People don't really get too hyped about these things. I remember with the iPad mini 5, not that many people talked about it, but I personally love that iPad, and with the iPad mini 6, it looks like this thing is going to be coming out sooner than later, quite possibly before the end of this year. Now there's been a lot of conflicting reports. Some people are saying it's going to look more like the iPad Pros, and some people like Maka Takara are saying that it's probably going to end up staying in the same body style that it is now. But one thing is for sure, the price tag of the iPad mini is looking to still be roughly around the same. So whether it's the same design or a newer design, at least that price tag is probably not going to get any bigger, which is the number one thing I always look for. If they do end up increasing the price tag, hopefully they do end up, bringing in that newer design, because if it's the opposite, then nobody's going to want to buy this thing, to be honest. Now the panel, if it stays the same, obviously it's going to be the same as the iPad mini 5, but if it ends up getting bigger, people are mentioning that it could be an 8.3-inch display, which is much smaller than even the smallest iPad Pro, which is an 11-inch display. So this thing, could potentially be a really good looking iPad to just bring with you, throw in your book bag and move on. The iPad mini 5 has a 7.9-inch display, so it's only a little bit bigger, but it's not going to feel like bigger in the hand. If anything, it'll feel smaller because of the lack of bezel around it. That's another pretty big thing to keep in mind. Now it's supposedly going to be bringing that A15 chip inside of it, which if that ends up being the case, that's awesome. I hope they don't bring in the A14 and bring it in there, to be honest, because that's already pretty much an outdated chipset. People are also mentioning that it may have USB Type-C in it. If they do end up bringing in that, bezel-less design, kind of not completely bezel-less, but if they end up doing that, then I totally see them bringing USB Type-C. That's just the next step in my opinion. That's the thing that makes sense. But like I mentioned, if they keep that same body, here's the way I look at it. The iPad mini lineup has not changed at all in terms of the body. It's been exactly the same exact style since the first iPad mini that came out, I think over 10 years ago, whenever the first one came out. So this thing still theoretically looks exactly the same thing as the first iPad mini, which is still so funny. So is Apple going to continue it? I don't know. There's only a few iPads that even have a changed design, which was the iPad Airs and the iPad Pros, and even the iPad 8th generation, if you consider that little minor change that happened, a couple years ago. But other than that, I think it's probably going to roughly be around the same thing, to be completely honest, because like I mentioned, some people are saying that the iPad mini is not going to change. People have been conflicting these things back and forth, but I guess we'll see what happens. I really do hope, in my opinion, my wish list is that the iPad mini 6 does end up actually bringing in that bezel-less design. Hopefully it does not have a home button to be more streamlined with the whole entire lineup, but also I can see Apple, if they do end up putting that A15 chipset inside of it, would that cannibalize, iPad Pro sales? And, my first instinct would be absolutely not, because the, iPad Pros don't have, the A14 or A15s in them. They have the M1s in them now. But I could also see some people conflicting and saying, well, it's a smaller iPad, it looks the same. But I would tell them, look at the iPad Airs. The iPad Air 4, it didn't really cannibalize, as far as I know, iPad Pro sales at all. So I don't know. But I guess we'll see what happens in the future. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.